That's a genius name. I mean, your last name is Duty. Duty's Daggers makes perfect sense.
Hello, my dudes. Welcome back to the channel. Today, in this mood lighting, we're going to be talking about sexual knives. I mean, sexy knives. Have you guys ever been sexually attracted to a knife? Let me tell you something. I can't do it. In my head, I was doing like that sort of voice the whole time, and I was gonna bring out knives and like compare them to different types of sexual acts, but I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can do it, man. But we are gonna look at some really sexy knives. For a while I was kind of hunting this perfect lighting for when I don't have the natural light, when I film at nighttime. And then I just turned on this lamp next to my desk and tried filming something, and actually things look really good. It's just a regular old lamp sitting right over there. And it actually looks really good. Let me let the dog out before we continue. So let's look at some sexy knives. How about that? First up, we've got the Finch Noble Ant in ironwood scales. This is definitely a sexy knife. Absolutely. If you're not familiar with Finch, they make it's kind of modern traditional type knives. Knives that have a lot of traditional elements to them, but also some modern ones as well. Like this beautiful milled titanium pocket clip, which is really, really cool. Most of the Finch models have their own specific clip that's specific to that model. Whoops. If you look at my other Finch here, the Holiday, it has its own specific clip, also titanium. They reuse them, I think, a couple times, but most of them, like I said, have their own unique clips. Like flipper tabs, that's a modern element. They do such a good job with their flipper tabs, man. They put jimping all the way around like it should have. You get good leverage on them, and the detents, man. This thing is really nice and snappy. Very smooth on the shut, too. On the shut. My Holiday, when I first got it, was very smooth. But it absolutely got significantly smoother over time. And now it's just like, this is such a light blade, but it's still a couple shakes and it's down. And really, the amount of, friction in this pivot is so, I don't know how to explain it. It's glassy. You don't feel any sort of, grit inside that pivot at all. Just glassy, glassy, glassy smooth. And a nice little click shut. And the Chernobyl Ant here will absolutely become that way over time. And it already is super, super smooth. This is brand new from Finch. And it's not mine. It's being sent around to some reviewers from Finch. So thank you to Finch for letting us check this out. This is really nice. It's got that hand-rubbed satin finish on the blade. That is absolutely sexy. A little bit more reflective than the one on my Holiday. But both just absolutely beautiful. Good ergonomics, too. Get a full grip on it. This is kind of a light use knife. This is kind of something fancy. Maybe you're taking your significant other out on a date, You want something light but classy. This is such a good choice. The Holiday, too. This is kind of my fancy knife, Finch just makes amazing stuff. This one's in 14C28N. Thin behind the edge. Great action. Really like this knife. Also, the logo glows right here. Let's check it out. I was looking at it during the daylight, and it was kind of hard to tell, but I think this one glows blue. Some of them do that. My holiday is green, but let's see here. Yeah, it's definitely more of a blue. The holiday here, you can tell, is definitely much more green. So that's really cool. Just such a cool little touch, you know. Doesn't serve any real practical purpose, but it's just cool, man. Really cool. So that's the Finch Noble Ant. All right, next sexy knife has got to be the Spyderco Smock. To me, this is a sexy knife. You know, some knives to me look more wicked. Some look more, I don't know, beefy, tanky. Some are really nimble. This one's not as nimble, but it is nimble because it's really just, you know, it's the whole aesthetic. It's kind of long and slender. Really, really sexy blade, you know, hollow ground, Warncliffe / sheep's foot. Beautiful, beautiful satin finish on the flat there. Amazing transition between that and the belt sander finish on the hollow grind. Looks really, really nice. I mean, it's a sexy knife, right? Absolutely is. Especially with these titanium scales, it really, really adds a lot to it. Man, yeah, I love it. My only complaint with the Smock, besides it's really difficult to take apart, you know, but that's not a huge issue. I mean, I just had to do it once to get these scales on, and hopefully I'll never have to do it again. But my only real complaint is I think there should be some jimping on the top of this flipper tab here. If you don't put your finger up high enough, you will slip off. And it happens to me, definitely not all the time. In fact, it doesn't. Well, it just happened right there. It happens though. So I think some fine jimping up on the top would be pretty nice. I'm trying to find somebody that is skilled at cutting and jimping. So if anybody, you know, knows a knife modder that is good at cutting and jimping, I would like to know about them. I want jimping on this knife, and when I get my Spyderco McBee, the little guy, I want to cut jimping on there too, so that I can front flip it, and possibly a few other knives too. So if you know anybody like that, put me in contact with them. I have cut in jimping before, and you know, especially, well, on a few fixed blades I've made, I've cut jimping in. And I've done an alright job. I use those really thin cutoff wheels that you get like for a Dremel. And that seems to work pretty well, but I'm just not confident enough to do it on something really nice like this or the McBee. So, in fact, let me grab one of my fixed blades here. Because this is a sexy knife too. If I can say that, being that I'm the one that made it, but check this out. I think that's a sexy knife. What do you think? But yeah, there's my jimping. It's not perfectly even. You can tell I have a couple wider ones in there, and but it definitely works totally very well. It's just I need more practice. But yeah, it's a pretty sexy knife, right? 1095 blade steel, full flat grind. This was my first attempt at a full flat. I think it turned out relatively well. My plunge lines are not awful, actually pretty good. I was pretty happy with these. Definitely could be better, but for an amateur, I think my plunge lines are actually pretty good. There was an ugly section right in here, and I was having a hard time fixing it, so I actually just extended this part. I kind of carved it out here and just took it out, and actually it looks way better now. But just a pretty cool little small EDC fixed blade. Next time I make one of these, if I do this kind of similar style, I would like to make the handle a little bit longer or the blade a little bit shorter. I think the blade to handle ratio is a little bit off. But yeah. Natural brown micarta handles, brass pins. Yeah. Let's look at another sexy knife. Sharp Eye Design Apex. This is for sure a sexy knife. So many just smooth edges on this thing. It's crazy. I absolutely love this knife. I really, really love this knife. I want another of his designs so badly. I really want a Mini Tempest. That's his dedicated front flipper version, or design, I mean. There's also a front flipper version of this knife, which I would like to get as well. But the Mini Tempest is probably the other one besides this one that really, really calls to me. But all of his designs, I mean, holy shit. There's not a single one that I don't like, at least looks-wise. This is such a good knife. One of the best reverse flicking actions I've ever experienced. And that's due to the fact that he's not using a traditional detent ball. It's actually a little ridge that is actually part of the steel lock bar insert. So it doesn't feel like a regular detent ball. It's extremely crisp on the breakaway. Never felt anything like it. And you can't really tell over video. You just have to experience it. It's incredible. It really is. Another thing that kind of contributes to it feeling different is, you know, on a typical knife, you break the detent, the blade goes out, and then there's a point here. You can hear the little click where the detent ball comes off of the tang of the blade, right? So the detent ball is in its hole. You break it out of its hole. It's riding on the tang, boom, falls off the tang. Then the lock bar slides over and locks it in place. So there's kind of like a little limbo area here, like right there, where it's not on the blade yet. Once it gets on the blade, then it can freely swing closed. That doesn't happen on this knife. Check it out. You break the detent, it's on the tang, it's on the tang, it's on the tang, and it locks out. There's no middle ground. It's kind of trippy if you're not used to it, which, you know, when you pick up this knife after not handling it for a couple days or weeks, it just feels different, you know? It's just completely smooth until it locks out. This is a sexy knife. Absolutely. I mean, look at it, right? Jeez. The grinds on the blade. This hollow grind. This is S90V blade steel, by the way. Just the lines on this knife are, they're just put together in such a masterful way. I don't know. I don't know how he does it, really. Also, it's so surprising that you get this much blade in this handle. It almost seems like magic. When you see the knife closed and then you see the blade pop out, you're like, how did that come out of there? It's kind of mind-bending in a way. It's like those, you know, those tents. One of the Harry Potter movies, they go inside this little tent and they walk in and it's actually this huge room. It's like some magic going on. That's kind of what it feels like on this Apex here. So Super, super sexy knife. I would call the XM18 a sexy knife. Now, this is kind of pushing the limit of what I'm trying to think of as a sexy knife, or what it is in my mind. This is much closer to um, a beefy tank sort of knife, but it's still sexy to me. It's like, well, I don't want to compare it to anything, but I mean, it's sexy, right? There's something about it. It's not all function over form. There is a lot of function here. This is a very sturdy, super, super ergonomic, very locked in feeling. You got the finger guard. I mean, this thing, you feel like you want to take it into battle with you. Seriously. But it's also got a little touch of grace to it, and almost like industrial kind of sexy feeling to it. Now, this one, I have this working finish titanium scale on this side, and then the lock side is just stone washed. I have these blue accents. I bought these this blue filler tab, and also the lock bar stabilizer. You can't really see it. And I just ordered the I forget what they call these. They're not the barrels. Maybe they call them the barrels. It's the flat part on the other side of these fasteners. I ordered these in blue too. So this side will have some blue accents. This side will be completely monochrome. I love this knife. I really, really love it. It's built so well. Even when I took it apart, put the scale on, put it back together, it's centered up immediately. It is absolutely perfectly centered. No blade play whatsoever. This thing is just strong as hell. And look at the action. I mean, this thing does have skiff bearings in it, but it is shocking how quickly and easily this blade falls shut. And the fact that it goes together that easily and quickly with no fiddling. You're not trying to get it centered. You're not trying to get this action to where it falls shut, but you still have a solid lockup. There's none of that. You put it back together, you tighten down the pivot, and this is what you get. Just absolute solidness. I'm very, very happy with this knife. S45 VN. Love it. So let's get out the past ones we talked about. The Smock. The Noble Ant. What other sexy knives do I have? Let's see here. You might call the PM2 sexy. It's kind of pushing it. In fact, yeah, I don't think I would call it sexy. This is more like complete utilitarian design, I mean, people do think Spydercos look good. I personally think they look good. Some people think they're ugly, but they still like them because they're so ergonomic and functionally they just work really well. I think they look good, and I think they're functionally amazing, but I wouldn't say sexy, My new drop bear that I just got, I'm really, really digging this thing. Absolutely destroyed this crossbar lock. Unbelievable. Best one I've ever tried, hands down. But I don't think it's sexy. No, it's not. But I love it. I think these are kind of the main ones here. The Chavez Scapegoat is more wicked than sexy, although you could make an argument that it's sexy. This, in my mind, is more on the wicked side. Absolutely wicked, though. Oof. I think these are the main ones right here. To me. Let me know what you guys think. What's the sexiest knife in your collection? And let me know if you've ever been sexually attracted to a knife before. No, don't tell me that. I don't want to know that. I don't want to know. Oops. All right. Well, that's it. This was kind of dumb. Am I gonna be embarrassed of this? I might not even upload this. Anyways. Well, if I do, thanks for watching, and consider becoming a channel member. There are perks. The lowest level is $3 a month, and you get access to a members-only video per week. One members-only video per week that only you guys will have access to. It'll be fun stuff. You get special emojis that you can use on my channel and on the lives. And you get shout-outs. You get access to a private group chat on Instagram. Lots of cool stuff. Only for $3 a month. And it really helps me out. Helps me with equipment for the channel. Helps pay for shipping. I just spent $76 shipping a bunch of packages out today. Oof, that one hurt. But it's got to be done. Thanks, guys. I love you. Even, obviously. Even if you're just watching and commenting and liking, that's all I need. I really appreciate it. I love you guys. See you in the next one.